Imagine a conflict erupts 7,000 miles from your home, and just like that, overnight, the price you pay for literally everything skyrockets. Now, this isn't some movie plot. It's a very real, very fragile link in our global economy. It's a tripwire that connects a crisis on the other side of the world directly to your wallet. We're about to show you how a single flashpoint could bring back the $100 barrel of oil and what that would really mean for all of us. To really get a grasp on the stakes here, we have to start with a nightmare scenario. It's a hypothetical, but for millions of American families, it's just one crisis away from becoming terrifyingly real. You wake up, you check your phone, and you see this news alert. For most people, a price jump like this isn't just an inconvenience, it's a full-blown catastrophe. And why is that? Because for the vast majority of families, there is simply no room in the budget to absorb a shock of this size. This number, this is the core of our vulnerability. A staggering 65%. That's nearly 2/3 of all Americans living paycheck to paycheck. Think about what that really means. No savings, no cushion, absolutely no ability to absorb a sudden, massive price hike. So what in the world could trigger something like this? Well, the answer lies 7,000 miles away, in a tiny strip of water. It's one of the most vital and also one of the most vulnerable arteries in the entire global economy. In geopolitical circles, they call this the Strait of Hormuz. It's the passageway connecting the Persian Gulf to the open ocean. And according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, it is absolutely critical to global energy security. Any disruption here, even for a day, sends immediate shockwaves across the entire planet. Let's just talk about the scale for a second. 20 million. That is how many barrels of oil pass through this one strait every single day. To put that in perspective, that's like watching over 1,200 Olympic-sized swimming pools filled with oil float by every 24 hours. This one little spot on the map represents a massive global dependency. We're talking about 20% of the entire world's daily oil supply. 1/5 of the fuel that powers our civilization has to squeeze through this one narrow channel. And here is the truly alarming part. At its narrowest point, the strait is only 21 miles wide, a tiny, incredibly vulnerable passage that a huge chunk of the world's energy has to get through. It is the definition of a bottleneck. Okay, so this isn't just some theoretical risk. This isn't a what if. We have seen time and time again exactly what happens when this region gets unstable. History gives us a chillingly clear warning. History shows us a very clear, very painful pattern. From the invasion of Kuwait back in 1990 to the insane price spikes of 2008, conflicts in the Middle East have always had a direct, painful impact on your wallet. And all the recent analyses confirm that a new crisis would follow the exact same playbook. Let's look at the classic example. So in July of 1990, oil was trading at about $18 a barrel. Seems cheap, right? Well, the very next month, after Iraq invaded Kuwait, the price literally doubled to $36. That shock didn't just hurt at the pump, it pushed the entire U.S. economy right into a recession. And that's because a disruption in the strait doesn't stop with gas prices. No, it sets off a chain reaction, a series of economic dominoes that fall right across every single part of the American economy. Here's the direct link. The EIA gives us a really simple rule of thumb. For every single dollar that a barrel of oil goes up, the price of gasoline goes up by 2.4 cents. So let's say oil jumps by $40. Bam! That's almost $1 more per gallon at the pump. Instantly. But the pain doesn't stop at the gas station. Higher fuel costs infect the entire supply chain. This data from the USDA is really revealing. Transportation costs have actually been soaring faster than both food and housing. Why? Because every single item on every shelf in every store has to be shipped. And when fuel prices spike, the cost of everything else goes right up with it. And of course, this hits the most vulnerable households the hardest. Data shows that the lowest income families spend nearly 1/3 of their entire budget on food. So when transportation costs drive up the price of groceries, it forces millions of people into making impossible choices. All of this brings us right back to the American household, which, let's be honest, is already stretched to its breaking point. The data paints a pretty chilling picture of a nation that is teetering on a financial knife's edge. So when those essential bills go up, what actually happens? This quote from PMYMTS Intelligence really gets to the heart of it. Families aren't cutting back on vacations or luxury items. They are being forced into desperate, reactive measures just to keep their heads above water. I mean, these numbers are just stark. One-third of struggling consumers are forced to just skip paying bills altogether. A quarter have to go and seek out assistance programs just to get by. The data shows they're taking almost double the number of desperate financial actions just to manage their bills compared to stable households. There's just no buffer left. So when you connect all these dots, the geopolitical flashpoint, the history that we know repeats itself, and the profound financial fragility right here at home, it all leads to one deeply unsettling conclusion. And it leaves us with this final, critical question. We know the dominoes are all lined up. We know the trigger is incredibly sensitive. So with so many families already pushed to their absolute financial limit, are we truly prepared for the moment that first one falls?